Jacob, pronouns are he, him in Texas, wants to correct us that, if we're atheists, we should not be atheists. So welcome, Jacob.
Hi, how are you? Man, much respect, man. It's an honor to talk to you, man. I've studied you for years. This is crazy. First time talking to you. So let's just get right to it. As intelligent as you are, I've seen debates. I was an atheist. You, Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Dawkins, all you guys turned me into an atheist when I was 26. I'm 33 now, and I'm definitely a full born-again Christian, straight up. So, yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I understand this, because on the call screener thing, it says that you're saying if you're an atheist, you'd be crazy not to at least be a deist, which means you don't understand what an atheist is or what a deist is. And now you're saying that several of us made you an atheist when you were younger, and now you're a full-on Christian. So pick any one of those topics, either to defend your Christian belief or point out that we're crazy not to be deists, and I'll put a minute on the clock for you.
Yeah. Well, I said that to her because she said, she wants more of a specific, something more specific. So yeah, I do believe that. So we can.
You're on the clock.
Yes, thing or whatever. You said, I don't. Okay. I mean, you said I don't know what a deist is. A deist is the opposite of a theist, if I'm correct. Now, if I'm wrong, I don't have a problem being wrong.
You're absolutely. Stop the clock. We'll restart the clock. You are absolutely, completely, unequivocally wrong. A theist and a deist are not the opposites. Atheist and theist are opposites. A deist is someone who believes there's a deistic God, and a deistic God is a God that doesn't interact in reality in any detectable way, which means everybody who ascribes to deism is basically claiming that they've detected the undetectable. And I think it's absurd that you suggest that if we're atheists, we should be deists, because atheist and deist are essentially opposites, even though there's some ceremonial deism that people want to call sexed up atheism, but that's better described as pantheism. So, does that clear all that up?
No, you're right. That's my fault. No, that's my fault. I probably got the term.
Sweet. Let's start, Jacob. Let's start completely over. We'll forget about your thing with atheism and deism. So let me start this call over. Hey, everybody. We've got Jacob on the phone. Pronouns are he, him, from Texas. Jacob used to be an atheist and is now a serious Christian. Welcome, Jacob. What have you got for us?
All right. Well, I wanted to kind of get into let me just ask you, that's true. I used to be an atheist and I converted back to Christianity and whatnot. It's just kind of difficult because, what would be evidence to you? Because if I bring up personal experience, I've studied you guys long enough to know that wouldn't count for you because it's not your personal experience, which I think is a rational argument. You ask people to give you evidence, but any evidence that they give, even if it is credible, you would just shut it down anyway. So what is it, like a rhetorical question when you ask that? Or what would be evidence? And for the record, a deist in my brain, if I did have it wrong, but it didn't sound like it, is somebody who believes that there's a power, but it may not be Islamic, it may not be Christianity. That's what a deist was to me. That's why I said that. I didn't mean to necessarily make a dichotomy between that and atheism, but
that's just theism. If I say I'm a deist, then I cannot be a Christian or a Muslim at the same time. So Matt was completely right there.
Oh, I did. Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, we gave you a full minute to say whatever it was you needed to say, and all you did was accuse me of not accepting credible evidence. Why don't you present credible evidence? What credible evidence converted you from being an atheist back to being a Christian?
I was doing my studies, as I always do, and there's a certain minister that's not evidence to you. It's a minister. It's ministry. But I had a personal experience. I had a supernatural experience, just praying and repenting and accepting, humbling myself and accepting God. So that's why I asked that question. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just would there be any evidence for you? Is there only evidence for you that God pops his head out the sky and says, "Hey, it's me"? That's what I'd like to know.
You know what? I want to give you an example of what I would accept as evidence that there is, not even that there is a God, but that there is something greater, that there is something strange going on. If somebody made a live broadcast, somebody who is, I'm sorry for this example, but somebody who is missing a leg, for example, makes a live broadcast, everyone can see that this person is clearly missing a leg. We even have a heavy doctor's report. This person prays for a leg to come to him, and then we all see very clearly that a leg descends from the sky, navigates itself directly to him, and perfectly attaches itself to that guy's incomplete body, and thereby perfects him, and now he has a leg. We all see that that leg actually comes down from the sky. I would then think, wait a minute, there's something really strange going on here, although I'd have to figure out what exactly is going on. Other than that, philosophical arguments, possibilities are simply not evidence to me, as far as I can see.
So evidence for you would be if somebody was praying for something, you know, miraculous, and all eyes could see a leg fall out of the sky in deep.
Yeah, and by miraculous, I don't mean somebody being healed from an illness that can go away or can heal by itself. What I mean is really actually something that is completely beyond our understanding of how the natural world functions, like the leg descending from the sky.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel that type of stuff is what turned me into an atheist. I just didn't like, after listening to all these guys, I just didn't like the what I would feel lack of evidence. But what I mean, okay, I'm not. What? Is there a dog barking?
Jacob.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I asked you what credible evidence there was that converted you from an atheist to a Christian. And I challenge you and anybody else to go back and rewind and replay the words that came out of your mouth and find an actual sentence. Because what you said was, I was doing my studies, there's a minister, it's ministry, I had a personal experience. Not that, it's not even a cogent thought. You didn't even make even the slightest attempt to say, here's what convinced me.
Yeah, okay. Well, when I say ministry, I just mean information, Matt. So what convinced me is not only just information, biblical information. You know, I don't want to argue the Bible with you because I know you don't respect the Bible as an authority. So it's hard for me to answer.
No, you don't want to argue it because you know I know it better than you do. I don't accept it as an authority.
Very well.
I don't accept it as an authority. But what I said was, I wanted you to provide. Here's the thing that kills me, Jacob. I'm an atheist.
Yes,
you claim you were an atheist. You claim you were an atheist because of, well, evidently you just didn't like a lack of evidence that you thought and weren't an atheist for the same reasons. If I became a Christian tomorrow, okay? Now think carefully before you answer. If I became a Christian tomorrow, do you think there's a chance in hell that I would not be able to put together cogent sentences describing to all of my atheist friends exactly what compelled me to change my mind?
Scriptures in the Bible and the relationship, a humbly.
You're not listening. You're not listening. You don't give a fuck, Jacob. And that's why you're a believer again. By the way, I just asked you a serious question that exposes an important truth. And your response was to say there's scripture in the Bible. That sentence doesn't even make sense.
I had a personal supernatural experience based off of exercising faith in the text. That's my truth, though. So I'm not a liar. I'm not going to be intellectually dishonest. That is my,
You are being intellectually dishonest because you still haven't answered the question either of the questions that I asked you, and now you're claiming you had a supernatural experience. How can you demonstrate? How can you prove that an experience you had was in fact supernatural?
How can I? You know what? You can't. I don't think you can.
Correct. You can't. So if you can't prove it's supernatural, why on earth are you claiming it's supernatural?
You have to experience it, man. I can't prove that to you.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. It doesn't matter whether you experience it or not. You can't prove it to yourself that it's supernatural. You can't demonstrate it to yourself or anyone else. So why do you get to claim it's supernatural if you can't prove it?
I can't demonstrate. No, I can't demonstrate to someone else. Right. That's entirely true. I can't have the supernatural.
You can't demonstrate to yourself that it's supernatural, because if you could demonstrate it to yourself, you could demonstrate it to somebody else. There is currently no known way to demonstrate any supernatural causation anywhere in the world.
By the
facts of reality and science. And if you don't have something to rebut it, what is your mechanism? What method did you use to determine that a cause for something you experienced was in fact supernatural? What method?
I mean, I can't. You're right, man. I can't say. I
know I'm right.
I ain't fake.
And that's why when I asked you if you could present us with the thing that changed your mind, you punted, you bunted. Yeah. You didn't offer anything. And when I asked you if you thought that this scenario was remotely possible, where if I changed my mind that I wouldn't have an answer, you completely avoided that question.
No. Hold on. No, I do have an answer, man. The answer wouldn't be accepted to an atheist. That's the point.
Oh my God. You're not listening to me, Jacob. Would you stop talking and listen to this question very carefully?
Yes, sir.
If I were to become a Christian tonight, do you think there's any chance in hell that first thing tomorrow, I would be unable to explain in cogent, rational, defensible concepts to all of my atheist friends exactly why I'm now a Christian?
No, I don't think. No, I agree. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
So if answer, problem solved, I think.
There you go.
The thing is, it's what's rational to you, man. It's not.
No, sir, Jacob. Rational is not rational to individual. Things aren't true for you. They're not rational for you. They are either true or not true. They are either rational or not rational. You can keep doing all this defensive crap, but the truth is, you don't have a good reason. You can't give a good reason. You just acknowledge that if I changed my mind, I would be able to give a good reason, which further betrays the fact that you don't have good reason for your belief.
Not true, brother. It's not true. I mean, it's this.
Well, you can say it's not true all damn day, but then give the good reason. Right now, give the good reason or admit that you don't have one.
The universe, Matt, is a good reason to at least give it a try. Look at the universe.
I mean, we're not getting anywhere with this. I mean, if I experience something very extraordinary, with everything that I know, I'm a psychology student, and I'm really interested in different psychological conditions. And if I experience something that is extraordinary, I would still not think that that was something supernatural. I would be convinced. I would think that something is wrong with me, and I need to take care of myself and get some help for that. And that's not my fault. I know that people experience all kinds of different things and try to tell themselves that what they experience is true when it's not. People have hallucinations. Our brain is not something that can be that is 100% reliable on its own, which is why we need to appeal to different people and different methods in order to verify what is true and what is not true. You yourself are not necessarily the most reliable source of information, and I'm talking about everybody. I myself am not the most reliable source of information for all the facts in the world. It simply doesn't work that way. That's why we have methods to verify information.
Of course.
You say, of course, Jacob. I don't believe you. I have zero respect for what you're saying, and I don't believe you. And it's because you keep demonstrating that you're not listening and you're not pausing to think about the questions. Because I said that you didn't have a good reason and couldn't give a good reason for belief. And the next words out of your mouth was, the universe, man, the universe is a good reason to at least give it a try. Well, that's not a reason for belief. It's insulting to suggest that other people haven't given it a try. I gave it plenty of tries. And then I began to learn how evidence works and what the burden of proof is. And I learned that there's no way to confirm supernatural causation currently. And I learned after years and years and years of listening to people like you call in and talk about how they used to be an atheist and now they're a Christian, but they can't give one fucking even remotely reasonable reason for it.
I think we are done here.
Yeah, you have to curse me out. I don't have to curse you out.
I didn't have to curse you out, and you don't get to tell me what fucking words I can use on my own fucking show. I'm sorry that you got backed into a corner and had to acknowledge that you don't have any good reason, but you don't get to tell me how to talk. Goodbye.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to establish the example that I gave earlier about a leg descending from the sky. I want to call it the miracle of the descending leg. You can
Miracle
remember
of the descending leg.
Yeah, so if something like that ever happens, please use that, and I'll be very happy to witness that.
I like it because that would be an incredibly good indication that at least something is going on.
Something is wrong here. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a start. It wouldn't on its own confirm a god.
Yeah.
I actually had this argument in a debate that I did with Mike Lacona on the resurrection, because he suggested that if we watched someone's head get cut off and then they came walking into the other room to greet us and their head was back on, that would be a resurrection. And I was like, absolutely. I agree that we would have good reason that a resurrection occurred, but we wouldn't know how or why a resurrection occurred.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, even if something like that happened, that's a sign that something is going on. There's something more to this, but that's it. We still have to figure out what exactly is wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.